Hey there, Dr. Amina here, and today what I'm going to do is share with you all 3 simple steps to living a healthy lifestyle. Now, before I start, I'm going to say again, these are simple, and you might think, like too simple for me to do. These can't work, but trust me, they do. So the first one is to really reduce your intake of sweetened drinks. Just today, I went to one of the sections of the hospital, the nurse's station, to get some water, to refill my water bottle and to put some water in my kettle for me to make some tea. And I was just thinking to myself, thinking back to about 7 years ago, when I never, ever, ever, almost never drank plain water. If I ran out of, juice or whatever from the doctor's lounge and I needed something to drink, like I remember one night late finishing up some notes here at the hospital, and what did I get? I went and got a Sprite soda, because sodas, the only drinks they have right, in the patient area are sodas. And then actually I think they have some small packets of juice, but for whatever reason that night I took a soda, right? And so only 7 years ago, I would never ever choose anything but a sweetened drink, right? But the best decision one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life for my health was to get rid of sweetened drinks and to start drinking water. Imagine, I'm in my 40s and I only started drinking water in my 30s. The only time I drank water before that was if I was profoundly thirsty, like after exertion in the hot sun or something of the sort. But generally speaking, I had to have that sweetened drink. And I thought I could never survive without a sweetened drink. And so that's why I tell everybody, if I could get to the point where I drink only water, right? Almost, right? Only water or tea with no added sugar. I have my brewed tea right here as usual, my trusty Yeti mug, and I have some herbal green tea in that mug, and that is all I drink, right? Occasionally, if we go out, occasionally I might have a sweetened drink, but I can't tell when last I had that. Actually, when I do have a sweetened drink, it's usually something that I ferment at home. I'm from the Caribbean, and there's certain things that we make. There's something called sorrel. It's basically a flower, the petals of a flower in the same group as hibiscus. And so we boil that, put in some mulling spices, put sugar to help the fermentation process, of course, and we ferment that drink. And so I would drink some of that. In fact, I have some more to make. And then there's another thing, we call it mauby, M-A-U-B-Y, and it's basically the bark of a tree. It's kind of a frothy drink. When you boil it, it gets kind of frothy. And again, you put some spices, we add sugar for the fermentation process, and I actually have some of that fermenting in my house. And so I might have some of these occasionally, right? But it's been about, we made the mauby almost 2 weeks ago. I had a little bit, and then I have some fermenting there. But generally speaking, really and truly, if you know me, you will know that I only have water and I only have unsweetened tea, right? So it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. Cutting sweetened drink is going to slash your added sugar intake by probably 50%, just that alone, right? And just talk about the energy that you get. Like, you basically relieve yourself of all this sugar that keeps you all sluggish, right? Just from the drinks, right? And you keep yourself nicely hydrated with water or herbal teas, or maybe fruit infused water or lemon infused water, right? So one of the steps to achieve health, right, or to get you on your way to good health, is to really cut out as much as you can sugar sweetened beverages, or beverages, sweetened beverages, right? And to replace them with unsweetened beverages. Okay, now the second thing, right, and don't hate me for this, but I think everybody, well, not everybody, we shouldn't generalize, but I think cooking more is a good habit to incorporate into your lifestyle, right? So the second thing is to have more home cooked meals. Now, you might not be the person to cook in your family, but maybe your partner is able to cook, or maybe family members live fairly nearby, and so people can take turns, right? Like one household can cook, and the family can eat, and then another household can cook. But basically, when you cook your own food, or more of your own food, you are in control of the ingredients. You are putting things in, right? Unless you're like reheating or baking, boxed or packaged goods, or microwaving things, right? If it's, the ingredients that you're using from scratch, then you are in control. You know that there are no preservatives. You know that there are no chemical additives that you don't even know what they are, right? And so you can feel comfortable and confident that what you're putting in is what you think you're putting in. Because if it's packaged and processed, a lot of times you don't really know what you're getting, right? And talk about contamination of different packaged things, things have to be recalled, etc., right? So when you cook more of your food, you have all control of what you're taking in, and so you are less likely to suffer from mistakes that factories or big kitchens and manufacturing plants and so on can make, right? Not to mention that it's just kind of empowering to know that, hey, like, you prepared this thing that you're going to eat. And then I think it's good for children as well to see the process of food preparation. They understand where food comes from. Also, when your child smells something really nice that you're cooking, it's like a good feeling when your child is like, oh, mommy, what's that? Like, that smells nice. Or, ooh, what's that baking in the oven? They smell like a nice banana bread. Or, if I make some cookies or something, and like, it's exciting. And then they can look back, like when they grow up, right, they can look back and remember the lovely aromas that used to waft from the kitchen, right? I think it's just good in general for family. And also it's just empowering, and what you're getting. You are in control. You can decide, okay, I want more of this, more protein, more vegetables, less of the refined starches. You can say, oh, well, I'm not going to cook with refined vegetable oil or canola oil. I'm going to use ghee to do my cooking, or I'm going to use olive oil or coconut oil or whatever. You have more control. And then the third and final tip that I'll give today for achieving and maintaining a healthy life is to move more. Right now, exercise is no fun. I'm not going to tell you exercise is fun. Exercise is no fun. I'm on call this week. I don't have as much time. I really have not exercised at all this week. But even if you cannot actually go and do your little exercise program or go to the gym, I don't go to the gym because I don't have time to go to the gym, right? That's an extra step, and I need something that has the least amount of steps, otherwise I'm not gonna do it, right? So we have these P90 exercise videos that I've had since medical student gave them to me probably 10 years ago, right? And it's the same thing, it's boring maybe, but it's simple, and I do it. So hey, once I do it, then that's all that matters, that I can do it, right? So we do these exercise videos. Try to do them at least 4 times a week. Yeah, last week was a good week, but I'm on call this week. Had to wake up early every day this week, and not just wake up early, because I do wake up early all the time, but I have to get ready and get my son ready, right? So I have not been good at exercise, but I have been taking the stairs as much as I possibly can at work. I try to remember after an hour, sometimes it doesn't happen, maybe 2 hours or hour and a half rather, to sort of get up and just kind of, walk up and down. I'm trying to remember to do more squats. Like, you can just do 5 squats or 10 squats or something, just to kind of keep the blood pumping, keep your muscles moving, and so on and so forth, right? So moving more is another major thing. Now, maybe again, maybe 10, 15 years ago, I never exercised. I was of the belief that, I'm thin, I don't have to exercise, blah, 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 kind of thinking again, just like I thought, only people who are diabetic should stay off sugar. I kind of thought, only people who are overweight need to exercise. I was so wrong, right? And so I started first, I used to do yoga and things like that, but there's no, yoga studio around me that I know of. So anyway, when, after I got married and saw my husband, he's was a big kind of runner, and so I started to do that with him. But in the beginning, I couldn't run. I could barely jog. So I used to just kind of walk briskly, and then I would jog for maybe, 5 yards or less, because I just could not jog. Like, all that, impact on my body, I could not tolerate it, right? But what you do, you start slowly. You tell yourself, look, this is not an option. I'm gonna move. And so you just start slowly. And so for all of you who feel like it is impossible to get up and do any kind of exercise, I know it's hard, right? Like I said, when I started, I could barely go 3 yards, which is like 3 feet. Sorry, not feet, 3 meters, like 3 to 5 meters or 3 to 5 yards, right? And I don't have to stop, and I don't have to walk, right? And I'll try again for a few more yards or feet, and then the impact on my body was just so much, like I couldn't do it, right? And then gradually you get better. Same like when I started the P90, I couldn't do jumping jacks. I remember as a child I could do jumping jacks, but then I couldn't. Again, some of these things, the impact, even if you might feel like you're not that unfit, but then when you start kind of jumping up and down, you realize, oh my goodness, this impact is rough on my body, maybe on the joints, like I know it's just too much, and now I can do jumping jacks without any difficulty, right? And again, one of the best things I've ever done, I think cutting sweet drinks was the best, but one of the best things was just to start, not necessarily thinking, oh, I'm not overweight, I don't need to exercise, right? But to start moving and really getting in the habit of just exercising, you know, whether it's like jogging, whether it's walking. I think any kind of movement is going to be helpful for you, right? Start with simple walking. If you haven't done anything, you never did anything, or you haven't done anything for years, just start by taking a walk, right? If you have a treadmill, good for you. I don't like treadmills. If you can go out in nature, fine. Or if you, like me, you get some kind of exercise video, but you don't even need to get or buy anything fancy. There are thousands of videos on YouTube, right? You just have to go on YouTube, beginner, intermediate, advanced, whatever, find a video and just follow it. Find one person. For me, it's that Tony Horton P90 video, but just find a person who, you know, looks like, oh, I can follow them, right? And do little exercises, a few minutes, right? And just let it become a habit. All these things, once they become a habit, you realize, oh my goodness, like I feel better, right? And so even like exercise, I know that my body feels better when I exercise. And so I don't want to go too long without exercising. Next week, I'm not going to be on call. And so I'm going to get back into those exercise, you know, the regular exercise videos, because like my body just feels good, like doing all that. I feel more agile, and so on and so forth, right? So those are my 3 simple tips to get you, you know, started on a healthy lifestyle. One was to cut down on sweetened beverages. Super important. Probably the best decision I ever made, starting to drink water, right? More water. 2, please, if not you, somebody in your household, partner, or just somebody close to you, if you could start eating more home cooked meals, right? And it might just be that you have one home cooked meal per day. Maybe the other things you buy, but whether it's breakfast is home cooked, or lunch is home cooked, or dinner is home cooked, just start small. If you never have any home cooked meals, maybe just start with one meal, one day per week, and just kind of slowly build up. And you will notice a difference. In the beginning, it might be a little strange, right? Just kind of having to acquire the taste of real food as opposed to the taste of the kind of packaged processed foods that have flavor enhancers, right? And then gradually you get more used to your food and prefer it over the purchased food, right? And then the third one is to just move more, just get into the habit of incorporating some kind of movement, whether it be simple walking or actually exercise. And those 3 things, right? If you slowly incorporated those 3 things into your life, right, you will reap health benefits. And as the years go by, the benefits will accumulate, right? And you will be less likely to suffer and succumb to illness and disease, right? I hope you all found these tips helpful. Let me know in the comments which one you are going to incorporate starting tomorrow. Start incorporating, because you start small, right? And you can just start with one, and all these 3 things you can start now. You don't have to wait until next month or next year. Okay, y'all have a good evening. If you found this helpful, like, comment, and share so that others can benefit from it. All right, bye-bye.